Hey guys, I wanted to share some thoughts with you. Um, I don't know where to start. First and foremost, it's really hard to start right now. I thought about self-love and I realized something. So I was thinking how I perceive myself, you know? And in the last days, I was like, I don't know, when I was doing a video, I was like, yeah, I'm a cool motherfucker and um I deserve to be seen, because I'm this and this and those people will like me and stuff. And I felt like someone who likes themselves, you know? But I don't like this. You don't have to understand this, but I don't like liking myself. It gives me off weird, unsympathetic vibes. I don't even understand why. So when I listen to my video and I feel like, yeah, this person loves herself, I think it's weird to me because I think I didn't do that really consciously, but I think unconsciously, and I don't even know if that makes sense right now. Um but it made me feel like, yeah, what do you even have to offer? You know? I mean, I'm drawing a webtoon, and my webtoon is pretty cool. So, this is like the thing, the webtoon I'm creating, that feels meaningful, you know? That feels like something uh, that is that I worked on and I feel proud of it and I like it and I love it, and that's fine, but just loving your pure existence just feels weird to me. I don't judge anybody else who's doing this. If you love yourself, that's fine, but I just don't feel like this whole like thing when people say like, oh, self-love is so important. I think that's kind of to me, I don't want to do that and I don't want to participate in it. And I'm gonna explain you why. Because first, it feels really exhausting to do this. Like, it feels like you're getting into religious. I don't have anything against religion, but you're trying to create something out of nothingness. Because why should I love myself? Why? I don't want to feel this feeling because it's exhausting and because I don't care. It feels like people force it on you to be like, oh, you have to love, like, I should pretend to be more happier than I am. I feel better and I feel happier when I don't love myself. Then I feel better, and I think you just, I mean, if people would tell you be a happy person, that's another thing. I don't think you have to love yourself to be a happy person. I think you have, like, I do that for myself, but I can't tell this other people. What other people do is different. But I personally think I just want to exist. That's it. And I don't want to love a pure existence because there's nothing reasonable for me to love that. Of course, when we fall in love with someone else, this person may be just talking, but even then, I just don't love someone just because they exist. I love someone because of different reason, because the things they say is interesting to me. But it's like different because like I don't hate myself. I don't hate myself either, I'm just existing. And I mean, I hate myself sometimes. I'm hating myself when I love myself. Then I don't like myself. Because, like, this step of loving yourself feels unnecessary. It feels like not necessary. I want to be happy. That's a different thing. And you don't have to understand that. I'm not making a statement here. But, I want to say that because I feel more comfortable with myself and I like myself better if I don't love myself. You know, loving myself just feels weird. It feels better to love someone else and not myself. I just want to love someone else. That doesn't mean I constantly hate myself, but I don't want to create love for myself, you know? Um I personally think love is something that needs two people, and you should feel good with yourself. You can use other words for it. You can feel comfortable with yourself, but I don't have self love because that feels like you have to put a lot of energy into yourself. I feel weird saying I don't, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me really uncomfortable. I think like love is something that is for me, and I don't want people to change my mind because I don't think I'm gonna change my mind. You can disagree and you can put your opinions on it, but I just do what makes me the most comfortable, and I guess this is really personal topic. So I guess I am I don't know when I should fall in love with someone. I would love this person, and then love would be in the air. But otherwise, love is just not there, and I don't want love to be destroyed by loving you. I want love to have a special place, that is just there when you love someone. And of course, and this is what I would agree with when it comes to love. When you fall in love, it shouldn't be like that this other person is giving stuff to you. But you yourself, you're not you're not offering anything to the person. This person, you become needy. You become you need this person to live, to feel meaningful. I mean, I don't even feel meaningful with my own existence, but that doesn't matter. I just exist, and existing is enough. And that is a really stoic approach to life, I guess, but this is how I am. And it feels much better. And still, there's probably more stuff going on with me, but it's not love. There are other feelings that keep me. I can say I like myself. This is different, but it's not love. For me, love is a case that doesn't happen just like that. For me, love is something, sorry, that really happens when you meet a certain kind of human being. You know? Maybe some people experience love when they like themselves, but I know myself. I'm living with myself. I'm seeing myself every day. There's nothing, love was not there and it was still fine. And then I experienced one's love through getting to know someone. And then I realized this is love. And for me, love is something that not just happens or that you can recreate with yourself. For me personally, love is something that happens with somebody else. And you're part of this. And the important thing about love is that you both should both be equally on the same level with each other. So you both, if you end up in a relationship, you both should give value to the other person. You shouldn't be dependent from the other person. It's not like so what I mean with love is there when two people there are. I mean that I don't mean that I need someone else to feel happy. That's different. I can feel happy by myself. I I mean, if I love someone, then of course I feel probably happier, even because this is what love makes you feel. But um, I feel happy by myself too. Maybe happiness is not big as there, but it's still there. And you should be a person that has stuff to do in their life. And I don't think you have to love yourself to love someone else when it's not because you can't, because you hate yourself. This is not what I'm not talking about. You should hate yourself. I mean, I think you're allowed to hate yourself. Dude, I don't know. I don't mean hating yourself in a way that I think you're okay allowed to have negative feelings, because sometimes you're annoyed by yourself and you don't feel confident about yourself, and then you're improving. So self hate is it can have different forms, and I think as long as it doesn't make you insecure, sometimes you hate yourself for a particular reason, and then you develop, and then it stops, and it might be part of a process, because think about it, you live with yourself you see your face every fucking day. Sometimes you get annoyed by that. I do. And I feel like I'm allowed to feel negative feelings about myself. It makes me feel more alive than forcing self-love. Self-love, I just don't want to have love. For me is something that I want for somebody else and not for myself. Not because I think I'm lovable. That's a different thing. You can still see yourself in a way that you're like, I think I'm a lovable person. I totally would understand when someone falls in love with me. You can be confident about yourself. I think you should have all the traits that would be there, that someone would love me. But I don't think it has to be self-love. I can just experience love through somebody else. This is how I feel, and it makes me uncomfortable forcing self-love on me, because love is something that just doesn't come sometimes. It's just not in the air, but I still feel like I'm a functioning human being. I like myself, I'm confident with myself, I'm a happy person, everything is all right, but self-love is not there. And I see that sometimes online where people are like, self-love, practice self-love, and it's like, that's so exhausting. I don't want to do that. I'm a much more stoic person. I just exist, and that's fine. And existing frees my mind much more, because in love there's such more going on. And for me, love just makes sense when there are two people around, because you have to, love is in the air, but it's also something that you have to put effort into, that it still blooms. I don't know if people understand what um what I'm saying, but I guess my approach to life to myself is really stoic, and I can tell you, it's not like to me, like somebody, it's much more attractive to me when someone is stoic instead of loving himself. Maybe you can be both, I don't know, but someone that tells me I don't love myself but I exist and I'm stoic about myself makes me feel much more attracted to the person, to be quite honest with you. Because self-love just feels artificial to me, because can you really recreate love that much when there's not a particular person out there? Because like when you fall in love with somebody, there are also like certain hormones happening. So I don't know if you can artificially recreate that feeling for yourself, and do you even need to do that? I feel like there is another issue in our society, and I think that people don't want to admit that not everybody finds the right love in their life. And instead of saying I was treated poorly by someone else I liked, or I don't know, we just try so hard to work on ourselves, and instead of admitting I need someone. I mean, of course, when you really need someone, you should go through therapy, because you can't just become needy and run after someone. You have to be stable with yourself, but it's okay to fall in love with a person just thinking about this person nonstop. This is a totally okay feeling. I think it depends really on the situation. I don't think about somebody nonstop when I'm like falling in love with someone, but whatever. Um, that I think this whole like self-love trend is trying to become a perfect, stable human. Like, we have to prove to everyone that we are stable humans. We have to be cooler. We have to overcome our feelings. We have to show everybody that we are strong alone, because not everybody gets love. So we have to, it feels like we have to prove to everybody that we are positive. We still stay positive in a fucking world that is not positive. And it just, when I see like people like self-love, blah blah, it really depends, but sometimes it pisses me off, because it feels like we're recreating. You can strongly agree with me, but that's my opinion on that, and I want to see your opinions. I hope I'm not getting angry when I see. I don't think so. I don't know, but in general, with self love, I sometimes feel like you're putting so much effort into nothing. You could, instead of like working on your self love, you could sit there and write a book, create art, do something that actually is meaningful. Because the thing is, when you create art, it has a lot of times less something to do with yourself, but it's something that you created, but it's not as strongly connected to you. It's connected to you, but it's still a project. Even if people wouldn't like you, they might like your art, and that's much more meaningful for to me. For example, I like my art. I love my art because it's something I put work into. It's something I put effort into, but I don't want to love my bare existence. And yes, you could say like, but you can love yourself when you're like creating stuff. Then you see that you're putting work into it. Yeah, but then I don't need that feeling of loving myself, because I'm busy creating that thing. It just feels like an unnecessary feeling that feels like a lot of effort. Maybe I'm saying this also because I'm German. It just feels like something on top that is not necessary, that I don't need. I don't need self love to feel better. I just have to be happy and exist. That's it. I don't want to have self love. Love is such an intense word that I want to keep love for somebody else. And then when I love someone, I'm part of the love too. It's not just the other person, it's also me. And I'm taking action into the process of love. But then I'm taking action and doing something. And then I would say I feel good, but that's different. Yeah. Um I I just wanted to share that with you, because loving yourself just feels like creating something really hard out of thin air, because love is something that just not happens just like that. And I think it's enough if you are happy. It's totally different when you say I am happy with myself. That totally made something that sounds like you're comrade of yourself. That sounds like something I would totally relate with. Yeah, I am happy with myself, but love is such an intense, strong feeling that I don't think you can just recreate it like that and work to it to create it. You know, it happens, and you don't need self-love to be happy, you know? And do we have to do that to prove to ourselves that we need? I sometimes think like people have to put so much things into themselves until they can prove they're well with love, and that's not true. You can even be unstable and fall in love with someone and end up in a healthy relationship because you're working together on each other or somebody helps you and you are a kind human being that needs help, but you are actually working on yourself too, and you end up in a strong, healthy relationship. I think in today's time, people think so fucking hard of it's part of hustle culture, it's part of capitalism. People always think they have to improve themselves and they're not ready for love. And I don't, if you are this person and thinks nonstop, I have to this and this and this and this to actually be in love, you're missing the point. And I think that's toxic. People don't want to come off as toxic, but it is toxic. It's hard for me to express what I want to say right now, but maybe you get a little bit of ideas what I'm talking about right now, you know? And everybody wants to show off that everything is fine when nothing is fine. It's totally okay to say, I want to be in a relationship and it sucks that I don't have a partner right now. I mean, some people don't care. I also don't care that much, you know, but there are certain kind of people who care a lot about that and appreciate, and they have a dream of having a family. And it's totally fine to express your feelings about that. And I feel like online it's a lot of times, oh, you have to detach and you have to self-love yourself. You have to self-love. And basically you have to be stronger than admitting your weakness, that you simply need someone else to feel complete. This is sometimes it just feels better to express your honest feelings and say, I don't, it's not really what I say right now, but in general saying I need someone else to feel complete. I'm personally don't really need that. I hope it would be cool to have a partner one day, but I don't know what will happen. You know, I'm stable with myself, but um it's sometimes better to express negative feelings and say I need someone else to feel completely complete and to reach everything I want in my life, instead of being like, oh, I have to try so hard to love myself and I have to show that I'm stronger and I'm independent. Everybody's independent. It fucking sucks, man. Dude, don't make a big fuss out of it. Just don't make a big fuss out of it. Okay, goodbye.